hair color you can grab at Sally's, and it's a dupe to Redken Shades EQ. You'll want to make sure that it says compared to Redken Shades EQ gloss on the box. This generic brand also has a line of permanent hair color in the exact same packaging. Today we're just focusing on the demi-permanent colors, which means eventually over time they're going to start slowly fading out. These types of hair colors are mainly used for toners. So if you bleach or lighten your hair and you get an unwanted tone, which most of the time you will, yellow, orange, sometimes a little red. For example, this is a 9P. In this color line, P actually means pearl, which is blue, so not purple. Most of the times in hair color, anytime purple is used, it'll actually be called violet, so that will be V. So if you have this 9P hair color, which looks similar to this, now this is a different color line, so it may vary a little bit, and your hair is a level 7, and let's say it's orange, if you put this hair color all over your hair, it's not gonna do anything. It's only going to change the tone of your hair if your hair gets to a level 9. So your hair needs to be here or above for this to work. You can absolutely tone darker hair. It's just not going to be a platinum blonde unless you lift it to a platinum blonde. So again, you can't have level 5 dark hair and put this on and expect it to cancel out the orange and make you a level 10. This is a deposit only hair color, which means there is no lifting involved and it will slowly fade out eventually over time. It's not going to make that line of demarcation that you see when permanent hair color grows out. It kind of slowly just fades out. Now in the opposite, if your hair is a level 10, brightest blonde, and you put the 9P on it, it's gonna bring your hair down to that level 9 while canceling out that yellow tone. For this one, this is a 10VV, which means it's a level 10 with a double pigment of violet, so violet, violet. This is only going to work if your hair is at least a level 10, which is the brightest blonde. And sometimes to achieve that, or most of the time, you have to do a double process. Lighten it, shampoo, condition, lighten it again. I personally wouldn't recommend lightening it more than once in a day. Some people do. It's best to do it over time. That means being okay with this middle hair color for a couple weeks, then lighten it again. That way you have the integrity of your hair versus doing a double process and having very dry, damaged, breakage, maybe even no hair. All of these that say compared to Redken Shades EQ are a 1-to-1 ratio. That means you're going to use 1 part of the liquid hair color to 1 part of the liquid processing solution. This hair color does not use your 10, 20, 30, 40 volume developer like permanent hair color. Just like Shades EQ, it has its own processing solution. You can use a scale if you want to measure this. For this video series, I'm going to be using things you probably already have at home because I'm assuming if you're watching this, you are doing this at home and not in a salon. But if you're in the salon, you want to use a scale, and it would just be an ounce to an ounce, 2 ounces total, or however much you need. For us at home, this is a condiment cup container. Shake your hair color. 1 container of this in some sort of container, but not metal. Now you're going to match that with 1 container full of the processing solution. And then you would mix this up. This is a very loose hair color. If you're gonna use the entire bottle, just dump the entire bottle in the container, fill the bottle up with processing solution, and then dump it back. So you're using the container to measure. That will give you equal parts. You can use anything to measure. A shot glass of hair color to a shot glass of processing solution. Teaspoon of hair color, a teaspoon of processing solution. It just has to be equal parts. So that's what that means when you see 1-to-1 ratio. 1 part hair color, 1 part developer in whatever measuring device you want to use. You can apply this to dry or towel dried hair. Personally, I do towel dried hair and it disperses really well because it's so thin and your hair is already kind of wet. It is easier if you use an applicator bottle, and I actually just saw those at the Dollar Tree in the hair section. To apply this, there is no special technique. At the salon, for example, to apply Redken Shades EQ, most of the time if you're using it as a toner, your client's in the shampoo bowl looking at you and you just apply it while they're in the bowl and let it process. Because you want to get this on there pretty quick. You don't want this side to process and be done and you're still working on this side. You just want to get it on so everything has an even processing time. If you have a cap, go ahead and put a cap over it and it's gonna process for 20 minutes. It says you can apply it up to 40 minutes for gray hair and heat if you have extremely resistant hair, which most gray hair is. If you're using this as a toner, you do want to watch it. It says 20 minutes, but that varies on your hair condition type, what's going on underneath or what you started with. Lately, I've been toning mine with this, what is it? 8N and 9P. A half ounce of this, a half ounce of this to 1 ounce of processing solution. It gives it this nice dirty blonde. The P again stands for pearl, which is blue. It cancels out that orange because my hair pulls oranges and reds. It's a nice balance because I don't want to completely cancel out the warm orangey tones, but I don't want it to be super orange, if that makes sense. Because most of the orange is gone, I just use it for maintenance. I'll only leave it on for maybe 10 minutes. If your hair turns too much of the tone you don't want it to be. For example, let's say you have level 10 hair, so it's brightest blonde, and you throw this 10 VV on it, and the ends of your hair are looking kind of purple violet. Just take a clarifying shampoo, follow it up with a conditioning treatment, and that should get rid of that purple tone it pulled. But you want to watch the hair color because you're trying to avoid it being a super pigmented tone, unless that's what you're going for. That's mainly going to happen on the ends, especially if they're damaged, porous. It's going to grab that hair color or tone first.